And I give the call to the member for Bowman.
Thanks, Deputy Speaker. And the great state of Queensland will be making a decision in the next couple of months on who will run that fantastic state economy, which currently ranks 5th out of the 8 jurisdictions in Australia on the Commonwealth Bank's State of the State report, which really shows how much Queensland has sunk under a do-nothing small-target Labor administration. And I guess there's a truism in politics, isn't there, that a do-nothing premier usually gets a second term, and that's definitely what this Labor administration is banking on up in Queensland. Well, they can choose the election date whenever they choose. The fight will occur, and you'll find that all parties will be very, very ready to stand in judgment, as are the people of Queensland. And they'll judge on three things. They'll judge on power prices, they'll judge on jobs for their families, and they'll judge on whether there's really been investment in road infrastructure, which is fundamental to productivity of a great state like Queensland. Decentralised as it is, freestanding, strong and thriving regional cities that respect and understand the importance of jobs. And we will be judging a Labor government that basically switched off the economy on Stradbroke Island to keep the Greenies happy. And they switched off mining because we couldn't chew gum and walk at the same time. We couldn't possibly be sand mining on Stradbroke and promoting ecotourism and Indigenous-run national parks. Well, you know what? This great island is capable of being more than just one thing, more than being a scapegoat for Labor's attitude, whatever it takes to get a Green preference. On power bills, you might remember the famous caricature of the former Premier, Peter Beattie, not a bad bloke, and his face had been turned back into a PowerPoint. Well, place that same image on top of a Labor Premier that happily skimmed $1.5 billion out of the pockets of householders in Queensland in inflated power bills 30% higher than the rest of the country were paying. 30% higher. I mean, that's appalling to simply not be able to switch on your air conditioner. Even more appalling, a bit like a corner store owner who's been ripping off kids for years, offering to give a bit of the rip-off back and asking to be thanked for that. I mean, honestly, to reach into someone's pocket habitually, skim the profits and use it to cover up bloated public service agreements that you've drawn up in order to get more votes and more union members, well, they're about to be exposed for doing that. And I mean, lastly, investment in roads, vitally important, hasn't happened for years. This is a state that hasn't invested in roads, with long-term Labor administrations that preferred to skim the money into areas of frivolity for them rather than necessities for Queenslanders.